There's a hole in my pocket, my pocket, my pocket. There's a hole in my pocket, my pocket, my pocket.
20 minutes past 8 o'clock. Feeling a little pinched these days? Well, you know, we throw a lot of money at many, many things, and clothing is one area where we spend a considerable amount of our hard-earned cash, but many overlook the necessity or the necessary underlying costs of dressing well. Undergarments are sometimes an afterthought for many people, but a preoccupation for those who can't find ones that fit properly. Our own Sherelle Tobin is working to avoid feeling pinched financially and in other ways as well, and she's here to talk about, of all things, bras.
Hello.
Bras.
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily consider bras a major expense.
Well, I'm glad to hear that they aren't for you, Rick. But, you know, for the ladies, it's a cost that really does come down to size, as you know. There are cheap bras available. You see the signs, but they don't fit everyone. And most of them don't fit Claire Dumakin. Now, she moved to Vancouver from London about 7 years ago and noticed something different about shopping here.
The average size here is much smaller. Clothes size and for bras, the average is much smaller, which makes sense because the demographic in Vancouver is a much smaller frame than a European frame. You know, the Asian population really affects the overall buying strategies of retail in Vancouver.
Now, Claire used to work in public relations, but after discovering that she really couldn't find the bra that she needed here, she decided to launch her online bra store catering to those who have a D cup or larger. It's called butterflycollection.ca. And this is something she has dreamed of doing for years because she knows how difficult it is for young women to find the right fit, as was the case back when she was a teenager.
It's so painful and so embarrassing. I remember one of my early bras that was the best I could find, which basically means it didn't fit. And I went bowling with a group of friends. And I really fancied one of the boys and went to bowl. And I think one of them virtually popped out, you know, and it's so humiliating.
I guess it would be.
It
very
is.
Awkward as a teenager.
Not as a teenager, as a grown woman, to try being a professional, being taken seriously. Her story reminded me of being a young woman trying to fit into those cute matching sets of bra and underwear they sell at stores all around town for very affordable prices. You're lured by the color and the price, only to be sorely disappointed and sometimes embarrassed by the fit.
Well, as a guy, I'm asking a very naive question. What does the average bra cost?
Well, depending on the size, you can get 3 for $40 at some stores. Now, they will fit some smaller-chested women perfectly fine, but those bras aren't made for everyone.
Because the bras are for smaller busts at La Senza, La Vie en Rose, that kind of place, they're actually designed with less material in them and less engineering. So they're actually designed entirely differently from a bigger bra. It's almost comparing apples and oranges.
And as Claire and I were chatting, I noticed her eyes were wandering down, and I got distracted by her checking me out.
My favourite thing when we get somebody into the right bra who's been languishing with their boobs around their elbows is like, oh my goodness, where did this come from? And they feel thinner, they feel taller and more confident about their shape, which is why I think, you know, you should be getting into the right bra now because it'll make you feel better about yourself.
But you were looking at my bra, and you think my bra size is wrong.
Yeah, you're in a gigantic band size, which is why your girls are, you know, asleep.
Oh my!
So what did you learn about yourself, Sherelle Tobin?
Well, like many women, I was wearing the wrong size. And I know better, Rick. Oprah used to talk about bra size a lot.
She did.
Yes.
She did number of shows on this.
Yes, yet still frugality and convenience won out over comfort for me. So I was buying a larger band size, that's the part that goes around your back, with a cup that was too small. I thought I was a D cup wearing woman, but after Claire measured me, I fit perfectly into a G cup. Gosh, is all I could say. That is a letter that's just very uncomfortable to say, but very comfortable to wear. And I am not alone feeling that way.
I had to tell a lady yesterday who'd been wearing a 40 double D that she was actually a 32J. And I think she went into shock. And this is the thing that you'll feel so much better in the right size bra. You'll feel thinner, you'll feel taller, all those wonderful things. But we get hung up on the letter.
Yes, and you were saying, Jay, how could it be? The discrepancy in perceived size, Rick, versus actual size comes from the way women have been traditionally measured for bras. The old method was developed by Warner's back in 1935, the only published method, and that was to measure around the ribs where the band sits and add 4 or 5 inches in order to accommodate smaller cups. But Claire says you should wear the size you measure around the band, then fit the cup by measuring the largest part of your breast with your measuring tape. Any inch difference between the two equals a cup. So if there is a 7-inch difference, A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
And we just don't educate our girls early enough in their life about how to keep a track of their bra size. And you wear what's available rather than what's right for you. And it's just awful that we haven't got more options.
So to talk about this from a business standpoint, there are so many lingerie stores. There's at least 2 in every mall. Plus there's department stores. Plus you can buy them at Shoppers Drug Mart. But why so few options? Because
they're selling larger band size with smaller cups. And we're just taking what will sort of fit with us and going with it because we don't know any better. There are options that exist that will cost you. If you head to a specialty store like Diane's Lingerie in South Granville, a mainstay here in Vancouver, you can buy a bra in any size that fits, but it will cost you a minimum of $45 up to $175 per bra. But owner Diane Thomas, who's been in this business for decades, says you spend your money in one area, you save in another.
What's the point of going to a chiropractor and getting your neck and back in shape when by the end of the week, with a bad bra, your back is out of shape again?
$175? Mm-hmm. But can you buy the specialty bras like the G cup or the J cup in most stores?
No. Consumers have to start demanding this. And if you can, you often can't get the smaller band size. I mean, not everyone with larger breasts is 40 inches around the back. Many women are 30 or 32 around their back and ribs, but can't buy the size they need. Claire says that's why she started her online business here in Canada, to reach those who can't access stores like Diane's.
Yeah, there are so many women who are languishing in too big a band size and too small a cup size. So they keep buying cheaper bras because they'll be comfortable for a day or two, and then the band starts riding up, and then they're uncomfortable and unhappy. Mm-hmm. For $50 more, I think your happiness is worth that.
Of course it is. And the problem is that this can create a lot of waste. As you know, I recently organized my closet. I found no fewer than 20 bras I was keeping in there because they're nice still looking and they seemed wasteful to get rid of them, but none of them will ever fit me. You can get by with just 3 bras, one to wear, one to air, one to wash, or a black, a taupe, or a seamless bra. And it's better to have fewer and spend more on them than to have more that go to waste. And if you do have a big pile of bras, as I did, Diane's at Diane's Lingerie wants them. She's been involved with breast cancer for years, the charity for decades, and she's collecting brassieres for a fundraiser in the fall on the Capilano Suspension Bridge.
Really?
All you ladies, we would love for you to bring your slightly used bras, clean of course, that doesn't fit you anymore, that's sitting in your drawer, that you haven't worn for a long time. If you could bring them to the store, and we hope to have 5,000 bras, going to be putting those bras on the bridge, and we're going to be donating all of the money to the Canadian Breast Cancer.
That will be quite a sight in October. You could donate your bras for a good cause. If you think you might be a C or D, by the way, laughing at my G, you might want to get out that measuring tape and get in the right size.
Who was laughing?
You. It might cost more in the short run, but you will buy fewer bras if you buy quality. And now I will leave you and hope that I could go about my work without everybody looking at my chest all day. Bye.
You brought it up. Sherelle Tobin, and thanks for sizing up that story for us. And if you have any thoughts on how to best support your savings in any area, you can offer your thoughts on Talkback at 604-662-6690 or email us earlyed@cbc.ca. Also, if you want to stay abreast of this story, go to the Pinch page on our website for more information and links. That's cbc.ca/early edition. Early edition.